What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a comparison video between my wife's pen and my pen. If you do not have a capless Pilot yet, I recommend that you get one. This is such a great pen and super handy. And when it comes to a gold nib pen, it's fairly affordable too. I think they're right around $150 to $160 depending on which one you get. Sorry, there are dogs playing in the background, and you know what? We're just gonna have to deal with it. Okay, so one of the main things I want to talk about here is these are actually two different pens. You can see a little bit here that they are different diameters. So what we have here is the Pilot capless Decimo, and we have the Pilot capless Vanishing point. So if you look at the pens, you can see that the Decimo clip is a little bit different shape. The pens are slightly a different length, just a touch different. The shape of the tip of the pen is a little bit different. And that is because the diameter, that's the main, there's two main things. The material, one of them is aluminum and one of them is brass. And the other thing is the diameter. So what we have is a lighter, thinner pen, a heavier, thicker pen, okay? And so for some people, that is going to matter. And so that's why I wanted to do this video. Honestly, both of them doesn't matter to me. I would have either one. I would have either one of them. It makes no sense. It makes no difference to me. I think they're awesome. However, I do prefer the thicker one. When Leslie picked up the capless Vanishing point, we purchased the Decimo first, and she had it for a few weeks, and she was actually out of town, and I stole it off of her desk and wrote with it for a few days, and I was like, you know what? I think I really need to have me a Vanishing point, and let me buy the Vanishing point so we can compare them. They are both gold nib pens. The nib units are basically the same. I will say they're equipped slightly differently at this moment. If we take this pen apart, you will see how this works. So the knock and this end is here, the body of the pen is here, and then the nib unit slides out, and then that is what you ink up, and then you put it back in the pen. While you have it out, you'll see that there is a Con 40 converter in this pen. That is how it comes. And then there's a little notch, and it slides right in there like so. And then you screw this in like so until it's tight. And then you write with it like this. The clip sits between your fingers like thusly, and it actually orients the pen correctly against the page because the clip sits right in between your fingers. A lot of people think that that will get in your way. I thought it would too, but it just does not. It's pretty neat. And what I like about the pen is you can kind of choose how much you want to choke up or slide back on it. It's the coating that they use on here is nice and sticky. Not sticky, but it's not slick. And so it's nice. And of course it comes in a bunch of different colors. So here is that one. And then this one is the base. It's the same thing. It's just thicker and heavier. We'll get into specs here in a minute. Now I do have this one equipped just a little bit differently. Con 40 converters are notoriously small on capacity. So what I have in my pen is with a cartridge, okay, that I have washed out and then refilled. This is a Pilot cartridge that I've washed out. Now the pen comes with this little metal thing that fits over the cartridge, and the reason for that is it reinforces the cartridge so that the knock can press against it. One thing I'll tell you is I almost threw it away because it's underneath the stuff in the pen case when you get the pen in the box. So don't throw this away. And then keep this cartridge, and then You can either use it up, or you can just empty it out and put whatever ink color you want in there. And it's got way more capacity than that Con 40 converter, and it is actually easier to fill, in my opinion. So I think it's just a lot more convenient to use the cartridge and this little dude right here. So that is pretty sweet. Now let's talk about the actual comparisons between the pens. Obviously you can see they look a little different based on, you know, the center ring is a little different, the center band, the knock is a little different, length and diameter, you know, of course, obviously size-wise and stuff. So let's get into that real quick. First, let's measure the diameter, and of course you could probably find this on any website anywhere, but let's measure them at the same spot. Don't want to scratch it. 12.4 millimeters on the vanishing point, right about the same spot. 11 millimeters, so 1.5 millimeters, but it's weird because that is a lot. It's a lot more than you think when you hold it in your hand. Coming over here to our scale, we'll see that the Decimo is about 20 grams and the vanishing point is about 33 grams. If you're not familiar with these pens, you might be familiar with a couple others. I found a couple other pens that have that same delta between them. So a TWSBI Eco is about the same weight as the Decimo, and a VAC 700R is about the same weight as the vanishing point. So it kind of just gives you an idea if you're more familiar with the TWSBI stuff. Maybe you've got a couple of those around. As far as writing experience goes, they're exactly the same nib unit, and so the writing is exactly the same. And I'll tell you what we'll do, since I've been writing with them both, let's kind of let Leslie give you an impression of what she thinks writing with them as well. So you got the Pilot Decimo before I got my vanishing point. I mean, I obviously got that pen for you. First of all, do you like it? What do you like about it?
I like that it is super convenient, like on my desk.
So it's kind of become a daily writer for you.
Yeah, instead of having to like unscrew the pen top, you know, it's just a click. So that's super convenient when it's just on the desk.
The nib's super smooth. It's just really good. Everybody has a thing about the clip being in the way. Since you're new to it, do you feel like it bothers you, or do you notice it?
Well, I don't use the clip, obviously, like, because I don't take it anywhere. It lives on the desk, but I think because of the way I hold the pen is actually like a prop.
Almost like a guide for where you...
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't even
So
think
it
about
doesn't really bug me at all. I mean, I think it looks weird, but...
So now, right with the vanishing point, and tell me what you think of that, the difference between them.
Well, first of all, this is way heavier.
Yes.
And fatter.
Yes. Like enough to change how you write?
Probably.
Hey.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, this one, maybe the ink's wetter.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it does not look the same. This one feels bigger.
Okay. You mean the line?
Yeah.
And it might be. You know, every nib is a little different probably, but...
It definitely looks bigger even to the eye.
Oh, maybe I got a fine and a medium then.
Yeah.
I'll put on the screen what it actually is. So maybe your Decimo is a fine.
Yeah.
And mine is a medium. I know mine's a medium. The pen clip, the clip is a little different shape, but do you feel it or notice it?
Yeah, well, I don't like fat pens. This isn't really fat, but maybe it is because of the clip. Like, it does feel way different in my hand. But
interesting.
I've also used the other one a lot.
What's crazy about it is it's 1.5 millimeters thicker than the other.
That's it?
Yeah. That makes...
I wonder if it's the weight, though. I mean, there is significantly heavier.
Okay, so, and what we talked about earlier in the video is that's an empty... Don't write with it. It's empty. And then grab that VAC 700 over there. that's the difference between those two is the same difference between those two.
But it does feel heavy.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
The weight makes more of a difference than the width of the pen,
Right.
probably.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. There's the difference between a vanishing point and a Decimo. It was interesting to get her perspective on this, that the weight made more of a difference than the width did. Let me know in the comments if you've ridden with both of these. I personally like the heavier, bigger pen, but I like heavier, bigger pens, obviously. So that's what's going to make the choice for you. They're obviously all available in different colors and stuff, but really it's going to be the weight. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. You can get each of them in a couple of different nib sizes. I'll leave links to some Ruti pens, Atlas stationers, and Gold Spot pens, because you can get them at all of those retailers at varying price points with varying colors and stuff. But some of the colors are not available at all the retailers. Like I think at Gold Spot you can get red and silver that you can't get the other places, for example. So I'll leave all three, that way you can get the color combination you want and support the business that you want. I do know that at Atlas Stationers you get 10% off if you use Dylan10, which that might help as well. But there you go. Thanks for hanging out and talking to us about these Pilot capless Vanishing Point and Decimo.